For now, I'm really enjoying it because it's a book about books. This book will get me into a big reading slump. Oh, hi there! Nice to see you. I was browsing Pinterest and I found this article, 14 Best Book Recommendation by Emma Watson. And I thought, let's do this video. In this video, I will read some books that Emma Watson recommended. I loved her in Harry Potter and I think she's a really good actress. Emma says in an interview, "I like books that aren't just lovely, but that have memories in themselves. Just like playing a song, picking up a book again that has memories and can take you back to another place or another time." So I think all the books can take us really in another place, in another time, because when we read them, we are dwelling in this world that books are making for us. I will tell you now about her recommendations. So the first recommendation is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I haven't read this book. It says that among the Emma Watson book club list, on a gloomy day, The Shadow of the Wind is a book you should read. It's a tale about a 10-year-old boy named Daniel who picks up a book written by an author who might have appeared to have vanished from the face of Earth. Daniel and his father live just above a bookstore and their lives change when they share a passion for books. The second book that she recommended is The Handmaid's Tale. I have read this one, I really enjoyed this one. So she stated that this book brilliantly expresses what it feels like for a woman to lose control over her own body. And I totally agree with her. The third one is Wild by Cheryl Strayed. So I read this one as well. I think I recommended this book to you in another video that I made last week. This is a book about Cheryl who lost everything in her life. She lost her mother, she lost her husband, and she wanted to try and start her life again, and she goes on this hike to basically heal herself. The next book that she recommended is The Power by Naomi Alderman. It's a book about how teenage girls all over the world develop the ability to cause destruction by transmitting electricity through the touch of a finger. I haven't read this one as well. Tiny Beautiful Things by Cheryl Strayed. So Cheryl Strayed, who wrote The Wild. The Color Purple by Alice Walker. I have heard about this one many times, but I haven't read it. It follows Celie, an African-American teenager brought up in a small village in Georgia, as she struggles to overcome the crippling concept of the self imposed by others on her. Also, she recommends The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I have read by Kazuo Ishiguro a lot of books like Clara and the Sun, like, oh my god, I forget the name, Bird Giant, and other books. I think I should read The Remains of the Day also. The Little Prince, of course, by Antoine Saint-Exupéry. The Queen of the Turing. I haven't heard about this one. This tale is about Princess Kelsey Raleigh Green, who was raised in exile and embarks on a dangerous journey back to her birth palace to reclaim her rightful throne. Sounds interesting. Braiding Sweetgrass. Also haven't heard about this one. So it's a book that looks at the relationship between living things and human efforts to create a more sustainable world through the lens of indigenous traditions. Oh, sounds interesting. Mom and Me and Mom. I think I saw pictures with her and this book, so a lot of pictures. I think she really likes Maya Angelou because I heard in so many interviews that she says that Maya Angelou is one of her favorite authors. In this book, Angelou recollects her relationship with her mother, allowing us to see the hardship she experiences through their complex relationship. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I really like his work. Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Never heard of this one. So this is a memoir as well as an energizing wake-up call to understand what it means to be a woman. I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai. It was a really popular book because it was a story about a girl who wanted to get an education in her country, but their girls and women didn't have any rights. She had to fight to get basically an education in her country. Toxic Love Disorder. Haven't heard about this one. It's the perfect handbook for anyone who is struggling to get out of a toxic and manipulative relationship. These are all the books from this article, and the first book that I choose to read, it's actually the first book in this article. It's The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I attempted to read this book, I think, 2 years ago, but I didn't really vibe with it. But now I want to read it because I see on the cover that Stephen King says that it's one gorgeous read, so I think I really enjoy it because Stephen King, one of my favorite authors, says something about this book. So yeah, the first book will be The Shadow of the Wind. Hello again. I'm at page 32 of this book. For now, I'm really enjoying it because it's a book about books. Here we are following a boy. His father takes him on a secret mission, let's say so. He finds out that there is a place where all the books written and not read by anyone else are taken to that place, and there are a lot of books there. So he finds a book that is a very rare book. No one knows anything about this book. No one knows anything about the author of this book. He takes this book home and he reads it all night long. And this reminded me of us bookworms who are reading books like all night long because we can put them down. After reading this book, he wants to know more about this author. He wants to read more books from this author. His father takes him to this book specialist. This man wants to give him a lot of money for this book that he has, but our boy doesn't want to sell him the book. So this man tells him that okay, if you don't want to sell me this book, you can come tomorrow and we will talk more and I will tell you more about this book. The boy goes to this man's home and there he meets a girl, a blind girl, who tells him that she also read some books by this author. She tells him her story, how she encountered this author in her life, and she tells him that there are more books written by this author, but there are not a lot of them because there was a person who was burning them. So for now this book is like Fahrenheit 451 meets All the Light We Cannot See. I am getting this vibe, so if you read those books, I think you will enjoy to read this one, but I am at 32 pages. I don't really know what to expect next, but I really enjoy it. It's a book for people who love books, if you know what I mean. It's very slow paced, not a lot of things happen, and also an interesting thing, the book that this boy found, it's called The Shadow of the Wind, so basically the same name as the book that we are reading. So we are reading a book with the same name as the book that we are reading. I don't know if I make any sense, but this is really interesting. So I'm at the page 87 of this book, and for now it's the most beautifully written book that I've read this year, and I think I've read in my entire life. Just listen to this passage. As I walked in the dark through the tunnels and tunnels of books, I could not help being overcome by a sense of sadness. I couldn't help thinking that if I, by pure chance, had found the whole universe in a single unknown book, buried in the endless necropolis, tens of thousands more would remain unexplored, forgotten forever. I felt myself surrounded by millions of abandoned pages, by worlds and souls without an owner, sinking in an ocean of darkness, while the world that throbbed outside the library seemed to be losing its memory, day after day, unknowingly, feeling all the wiser the more it forgot. It's very beautiful. The original language of this book it's Spanish, I think, and it's translated in the other languages, but I couldn't help but wonder how it sounds in Spanish, so it has to be so beautiful. Because if the translation is so beautiful, it has to be so beautiful in the original language. Also, Carlos Ruiz Zafón writing style reminds me of Gabriel Garcia Marquez. If you read 100 Years of Solitude or another book by him, it's the same slow-paced writing style full of metaphors. So I'm at the half of this book and I've come to a big revelation. So like a big plot twist here at the half of the book. We find out about the life of one of the characters that we meet in the first part of this book, and I am like perplexed. I didn't see it coming at all. This book is like a Russian doll. You read something about one character and he is investigating another character who wrote this book that is called like the book that we are reading, so The Shadow of the Wind, and we are learning through one character the life of another character. So it's like a maze of a kind, so you don't know what to expect and what is gonna happen when you will go in another chapter basically. But it's not confusing, you know, it's very slow paced. You understand pretty much everything that is happening in this book, so it's not confusing like it was this one, where I couldn't understand very much and I was like confused. Most of the time I was confused. This one is not that complicated. I like it because it's like a maze, but you enjoy to be in this maze and you want to discover more and more of what happened there, what happened in this author's life that wrote this Shadow of the Wind book. But also meanwhile you discover the character that is investigating, so Michael, that is investigating the life of this author who disappeared and no one knows what happened with him. He wants to find out what happened there, why this author disappeared, why he didn't write any more books, who is this man who is burning all his books, and why this man wants to burn all his books. It's a very intriguing mystery. I'm at the page 370 of this book. I don't feel like reading anymore. I don't know why. This book will get me into a big reading slump. I just feel it. It's not that it's boring or something like this. It's more like my brain it's working non-stop. I just feel like I need to breathe from this book, and I don't know if this is a good thing. I need fresh air every time I'm starting to read it. It's a very poetic book though. There are a lot of quotes here. I feel like I need a break from this book sometime, and I can't read anything else because it's 600 pages long, and if I'll start another book I feel like I will never finish this one, but I want to finish it because this challenge. I wanted to not finish it, but I need to finish it, and I feel like in between. It's actually almost 400 pages, so I have read a lot. And I don't know if I need to leave it right now, because it can be better. Sometimes I feel pressured when I'm reading it because this challenge, and I don't like it very much. Have you ever watched Brazilian TV shows? Because this book, it's a Brazilian TV show. I got one revelation that is straight up from a Brazilian TV show. I just finished this book and boy was I wrong. I am very happy that I finished it because it was a roller coaster. The end of it was a roller coaster. So the beginning and the ending I loved with all my heart. It's 5 stars, like more than 5 stars, 6, 7 stars. I didn't really like the middle of it. In the middle I was getting kind of bored, and this is bad because I can't give it 5 stars because of the middle. But the ending, oh my goodness, the ending was chef's kiss. This is gonna be one of the books that I'm going to recommend because you should read this book. It's good. Even if you will be like me and you will want to leave this book, to not finish it because it's gonna be a little bit slow paced in the middle, don't do that, because I can assure you that it is worth to read it. So more about this book. This book is the first actually in a series. The series is called The Cemetery of Forgotten Books, and there are 4 books in the series. So the first one is The Shadow of the Wind. The second one is The Angel's Game. Then we have The Prisoner of Heaven and The Labyrinth of the Spirits. It's like a series that Carlos Ruiz Zafón wrote, and I think I want to read the next books in the series, but I don't want to start them now because I need to process this book. It wasn't a light read. You need to think. This book is a process. This book felt for me like if Gabriel Garcia Marquez and Erich Maria Remarque decided to write a book, I think this will be the book that they will write. I got the vibe of both of these authors, and this was the only thing why I continued to read it, and because of this challenge. But I like Erich Maria Remarque with all my heart. I don't really vibe with Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I don't know why. So I've read 100 Years of Solitude, but I like it, but I didn't love it. And this book, it's like their baby. So it has both of their styles. This book is not a happy book, so if you are in a dark place in your life, I don't recommend to read it because it's very dark. It's like if you read one of Shakespeare's plays, I think you will get the vibe of this book. It's a tragedy, you know, like in Shakespeare's tragedies. This book is also a tragedy. It's very unhappy and it gets you into this dark mood. It makes you very sad. You forget that there is something good in this life. It's like every good thing that was in this life disappeared, and there is only darkness. This is the vibe of this book. This is a perfect book to read in autumn, I think. I can say that Emma Watson has a great taste in books. It's not an ordinary book. It's not like a book that you will read and forget all about it. This book will be with you through years, I think. You will remember pieces of this book after years, and I think it will stay with me like Erich Maria Remarque's books.